Hello everyone, I'm the EFC. This is Blue Lions TV. Welcome to another Q&A live stream. I hope everyone is doing well. It's good to see everyone. How's everyone doing? Cyball FC, hey man, you good? Jordan, you good man? Christian, what's up? Kid Flame, yes man, you good? Good to see that everyone is here. I had to delay it for another half an hour. I had some stuff I need to do, so apologies for that. But yeah, good to see that everyone's here. And yeah, you guys, you know what the deal is. I mean, if you want your question prioritized, make sure you send a super chat because that way I can spend more time with it. If you're a Patreon subscriber, don't worry, I'm going to be answering your questions halfway through during the stream. So get your questions ready for me in advance. And if anyone thinks, you know what, I'm always regularly sending super chats. Patreon's a great way for you guys to get the same perks. So, you know what I mean? It's a much more cheaper alternative as well. So obviously, yeah. That's basically it, you guys. So, yes, Nick, Alex, Brandon, what's up? Yes, Kendall, what's up, man? Alfie, hey everyone. You guys getting straight into the Q&A live stream. I want to start answering people's questions now. So yeah, a lot of people saying hi. Thank you, everyone. What's up? What's good? But yeah, I'm gonna start answering questions. People send them in. Okay, Madrid are trying to raid our club. What's happening? I mean, again, when we've got good players, it's natural that other clubs are going to look at them. I mean, it is how it goes. Um, yeah, if anything, I'd take it more as a compliment. If anything, I know people are talking about Marcelo and Juventus, but Alexandro is still there, so Marcelo isn't going to go anywhere. Atletico Madrid depends if they sell Felipe Luis, but I'm not too sure about that just yet. But yeah, it is what it is. Young Chelsea fan TV prediction for Newcastle thoughts. I think we are going to beat Newcastle. I think yeah, I'm feeling confident it's going to be another win. I'm not too sure if we'll get a clean sheet though, because I do think that the team still isn't fully accustomed to, defending off the ball in a sorry system. So I think that is going to take some time, but I'm confident for another win. Depeche Rob, what's up, man? There's always a bigger fish in football, bro. 100%, man. You're right. Um, Himanshu, why wasn't Hudson-Odoi listed in the bench for the first two games? Now, that is pretty interesting. And when it comes down to that, yeah, I mean, with Hudson-Odoi, all I can say briefly is that he can't. Okay, yeah, okay. You know what? With Hudson-Odoi, he's still not decided yet if he wants to sign a new contract. The club are trying to persuade him to sign. He's not really ready just yet. He's going to take his time. You guys, you have to realize with the younger generation now, not the guys like Bogo or your Rubens anymore, because when they were younger, they got easily gassed by what Marina had to say, or what club coaches had to say as well. With Hudson-Odoi, he wants to make sure that he is going to get game time before he commits. And Chelsea just don't want to sell this guy. And the main reason is that he could be worth a lot of money. They don't want another Jonathan Panzo situation happening, but he left with 2 million to go to Monaco. And Hudson-Odoi is just playing it very smart, and I give credit to him. He isn't going to commit just yet unless he has reassurances, and there's no rush for him. So with Hudson-Odoi, it's a tricky situation right now. So again, with these guys, getting a few token minutes in the Europa League isn't good enough. They want reassurances that they are going to be getting a path into the first team. That's what all of them are doing. I can tell you guys something else as well. Bolker, the guy that was pretty good during pre-season, he's in his final year of his contract. He's got 12 months left. He's undecided if he wants to sign an extension. He's thinking to do a Solanke situation where he's just going to stay for the year and then leave afterwards. And I think, again, you guys, I'm not going to hold it against these young players. I mean, they've seen what's happened to so many other young players in front of them. Never really got that chance. They don't want to be another statistic. They want to make sure that they do have assurances. And it's going to be a tricky situation. But I think they've got every right to do it, in my opinion. If Chelsea aren't going to give them that path, if they're not going to make it easy for them, if they're just going to see them as assets in which they can make money from, then it's understandable that things like this are going to be happening. So you guys, that's the current situation in regards to Hudson-Odoi and with Bolker as well. And answering some super chat questions, CFC Anuj, what's up, man? Do you think Alvaro Morata will get 20 goals? Yeah, I do feel that he will. If we saw that second goal he got against Arsenal, where he was making that run, using his pace in behind, there's going to be a lot of opportunities where Morata is going to get that type of service from the team. it's not going to be a case where chances come sporadically for him. It's not going to be a case where Aspilicueta will be pushing up to give him assists from crosses. Um, we're going to be playing good football, and there's going to be a lot of chances created for him. And I think with Morata, when he scores goals, he becomes more confident. So I think that, Sarri's depending on him too as well. And I do feel that, if Morata isn't injured, he's got a massive possibility of getting 20 goals. I mean, last season, he wasn't too far from that. You've got to realise, first half of the season, he was scoring quite consistently. Second half, when the team in general were pretty bad under Conte, no one was scoring goals. So yeah, I do think that Morata will get that target. Abdi Adan, thank you, bro. Thank you for the super chat as well. Question down below, because this has no space. Oh, okay. Uh-oh. Let me try and find your question, Abdi. Ooh. Okay, Abdi, I think I found it. Hi, Nini. I was watching Sky Sports Monday Night Football, and seeing them write off Chelsea already is annoying and frustrating. What do you think of everything seemingly ignoring Chelsea and Sarri? Yeah, I know. I saw it as well. I watched Monday Night Football, and they barely even spoke about us. And I think that it's going to be to the detriment of everyone. Maybe this could be a positive for us because there aren't much expectations around us. For some reason, people don't think we're going to be challenging for the league. And some people think that we aren't going to get into the Champions League for this season. So I think that this could actually work in benefit. It can work towards our favour, with the players not feeling as much pressure on them. With a lot of the players too feeling that, let's really show the public, let's show the naysayers that are doubting us that we are good enough to do this. No one's expecting us to do anything. And I think it's only a positive. So again, it's a perfect scenario for Sarri, not having too much pressure or spotlight on him. And he can really just focus on really developing the team. And the team can really just focus on really proving everyone wrong. And I think by the time it gets around Christmas time, I think a lot of people will be taking us much more seriously. And they're finally going to start seeing us as title contenders with Man City. But yes, Abdi, thank you for that super chat, bro. It means a lot. Other questions. Okay, Raw Ghost. Yes, Kovacic is very good. He is insane. Alfie Nini, have you got any news on Billy Gilmore? Nah, no news. I haven't heard anything on Billy Gilmore, to be honest. Gerald McCollins, hey man, if we wanted Hazard to stay, we would get top players, and if we did not make top 4, he's off, and I will blame the club. Yeah, I mean, it'll be a collective effort. It'll come down to the club as well. But again, you guys have to realise too, with our transfer budget, we're still under what we originally wanted to spend during the summer. So I expect there to be players in January. I can tell you guys this. Expect there to be a video later on in the next few weeks when I get more information. But I can tell you that Sarri would like 2 more additions to come in January. That is another midfield player for what I'm hearing. And that is another striker with different dimensions. Now, what do I mean by that? He doesn't want a typical striker in the sense where it's like a regular number 9. He wants a striker that has a different play style, and I think that was very interesting to hear. No one asked me who the targets are, but again, my personal opinion, with all the efforts we made for Martial, all the discussions we held with the player and his agent, I wouldn't be surprised if Sarri would like someone like that at the club. And yeah, I mean, of course, when it gets closer to January, I'll have more information, and of course, you guys are going to hear it here on Blue Lions TV. What other questions? Boom. What other ones? Answer the Patreon questions. Callum Ross was wondering, which teams do you think will cause Chelsea trouble this year? Well, you know what? I think it's going to be the footballing teams. I think potentially Spurs. But actually, you know what? I think because we aren't going to be playing Spurs for a while, I think by the time we do play them, we will be pretty good against them. I think Spurs really struggle when teams do put a lot of pressure down the flanks, as we saw with Man City last season. I mean, Spurs have always been pretty bad against Man City because Man City stopped their wing backs getting forward. And when you stop their wing backs getting forward, there's this ocean of space between their defence and their midfield. And when you got guys like Hazard in that half space and guys like Pedro and Willian cutting inside as well, I'm not even seeing Spurs too much as an issue. But I think the 2 clubs I'm looking at are Liverpool and I'm looking at Man City. And the reason why I'm saying that is the fact that these 2 clubs are further along in their football development. Man City, 3rd season under Guardiola, with Liverpool as well. I think it's the third or fourth season under. I think no, it's the third or fourth season under what's his name, Jurgen Klopp. And I think that there are real challenges for this season. But yeah, to be honest, I'm feeling pretty confident and optimistic against most teams we're going to be playing against. But it's the big boys really I'm looking at, and I think that number one, they're going to be very entertaining games. And I think that'll be a real true test to really match our football against theirs. So they're the two clubs I think are going to challenge. Yes, Aina, how are you, man? Okay. Hey, Nini, we offered Mourinho a new contract. The team got immediately worse and he got sacked. Man United offered Mourinho a new contract. The team got worse and he got sacked before Christmas. What do you think? Mourinho did amazing things at Chelsea and deserves our respect, but come on. I understand what you mean. I think with Mourinho, as I've been, I was on a live stream a few days ago on Have Hope's live stream, and I was saying that the issues Mourinho is having is down to the fact that it's the system. I think his tactics are very outdated. And you have to realise, since he left Real Madrid, he's constantly been in charge of other teams. Normally, when managers do leave a club, they normally take at least a season off, so they can really just, just relearn the game. If you think about it like this, Mourinho doesn't have any time to really adapt his tactics or try new things. Why? Because each year consistently he's been at a new club, at a big club, where there is an expectation to win and get immediate success. So it's no surprise why he's stuck with doing what he knows, because he doesn't have the time and he can't really try to do anything different. I think that's the issue he's having, and I think this is why he hasn't updated his system or his tactics. I mean, I'm finding it pretty funny. I'm looking at a lot of what the Man United fans are saying about Mourinho, and all the things they're complaining about in terms of the system and the football were the exact same things we were talking about when he was in charge with us. So it is no surprise in that regards, and I think that it's just, with Mourinho's short-termism, it only lasts so long. I mean, eventually you are going to lose the players because, again, the players, if they're winning something, they're okay. But then that level of expectation in their performance with how hard it is for them, because you've got to realise, I was making this point to my Man United friend, what's the typical Man United goal? And he thought really hard about this and he realised, shit, we don't really have a typical goal. And what I mean is, when you look at someone like Man City, you see that cutback pass. When you look at Liverpool, they've got that threat on the counter-attack. Man United don't have that. And that's because all of their attacks are improvised. And that's because Mourinho doesn't work on attacking plays or attacking systems. And that's what you need to do. I mean, when Guardiola focuses on this during training, then that tells you everything you need to know, that you need to work on this stuff in the training sessions. And Mourinho doesn't do that. He focuses on all the off-the-ball stuff. And it's no surprise why the players struggle. I mean, for example, look how narrow everything is. Now, they're forced to play narrow because there's no attacking plays which they need to work on in training. And because everyone's all over the place, they naturally end up moving closer and closer together because that's the only way they're able to link up effectively. And I don't know, with Mourinho, it is disappointing. But I think that if he does get sacked by Man United, he needs to take a year out. He needs to take a year out before he gets back into things. And the other question is, I have another question. I think we have a super talent in Hudson-Odoi, so he needs quality game time. What's your thoughts? Should he be loaned out or can he get enough game time at Chelsea? At least he is training with the likes of Hazard and other high-quality players at Chelsea. I understand it. Maybe he just missed the start of the stream, but I was talking about the fact that Hudson-Odoi isn't ready to commit to Chelsea just yet because he's still quite sceptical in regards to there being a pathway into the first team. Now, yes, these guys aren't dumb anymore like they used to be. I mean, that sounds harsh, but they want to... There's a level of expectations they demand from the club, and if they feel that they're not going to get it there, if they feel that they're not going to get much quality game time, they'll leave. And Chelsea can't afford to let someone like Hudson-Odoi go. It's not even because he's a great footballer, it's the fact that they'll miss out on a lot of money for him. Now, you guys, this is stuff that I've been told from people. I mean, it is a shame, but it's the reality. And I think with Hudson-Odoi, I don't know. I don't know if he's going to get a loan move, to be honest. And if he does move, I think if he ever moved, it would be a permanent. But I mean, who knows? Things can change. What if Sarri speaks and what if he starts playing more? But I think for him to not be on the bench in the past 2 games, with someone like Victor Moses ahead of him, even though I like Victor Moses as a fullback, the fact that Sarri's thinking of using him as a backup winger, it is a bit worrying in that regard. So with Hudson-Odoi, we have to watch this space and see what happens over the following months. Other questions, other questions. Yes, Nicky, yes, man, you good? You guys, Nicky EELA, he's the one that's giving me the new instrumentals in the background of my video, so thank you to him. Your question is waiting patiently for Ruben haters to complain when he leaves and becomes one of the best, like many before. Yeah, I know. I kind of feel that it's these cycles always repeat themselves. I remember back then when Chelsea fans were saying that De Bruyne wasn't as good, he was lazy. When Salah wasn't as good and he wasn't ready to play at a top level. Lukaku didn't have a first touch; he'll never be a top striker. Everton is his level. Blah blah blah. I mean, it's consistent things like that. Of course, Ruben is good enough, but I think with Ross Barkley there, it complicates things. And again, with Ruben, he's going to be thinking, I mean, let's be realistic. For him to get game time, it's most likely going to be in the Europa League or Carling Cup games. And, you know, when you're playing week in, week out in the Premier League, when you've joined the England national team for the World Cup as well, playing against some, you know, small club in the Europa League just isn't good enough. And again, it's looking like there's a chance that he might be staying and he might decide his future in January. I'm not hearing anything new in regards to what's happening with Ruben Loftus-Cheek. So that tells me that, you know, I mean, who knows? Maybe things could change in the next 8 days. But again, I don't know. I think with Ruben, I think he needs to be more selfish, in my opinion. IMSI01, best midfield out of Scholes, Gerrard and Lampard. I'm going to sound biased, but for me, it has to be Lampard. I kind of think that even though Scholes was a great player, I think that over time, history is making him sound like he was much better than he was. You see a lot of these fake quotes coming up from big players in regards to, oh, you know, Messi saying this about Scholes, Xavi saying this about Scholes, and most of them aren't even true. Most of them are fabrications, or most of them are out of context as well. And I think that you have to compare their careers. I mean, Lampard's, I felt, played consistently better over the years. Now, yes, Scholes had a lot of great seasons, but I think, you know, you got to remember before Scholes became that deep line playmaker, he did kind of play that box-to-box role at United during his early years. That's when he was getting like 15 goals a season, etc., etc. And Lampard just consistently outscored him, out-assist him, delivered more decisive moments in bigger games. His career at the highest level was much longer compared to. Actually, you know what? I can't say that. That point is wrong because Scholes retired at Man United. But I mean, again, I don't know. I just personally think that he was better. I think with Gerrard, even though he had great seasons, I wouldn't say he was consistently 10 out of 10 every single year. I don't know. I kind of think too with Gerrard, you know, most times he wasn't even playing in midfields. Most times he was either playing on the right, close to Torres as a number 10, or playing as a deep line playmaker. I mean, he rarely played in midfields, and I think that says a lot because a lot of managers at the time just didn't trust his tactical ability. Because for someone like Gerrard, he constantly leave his position to try and find the glory for himself, and I don't think he was the biggest team player as he should be. And with Lampard, I mean, Lampard is just a world-class player that could do everything, and I personally think Lampard was the better player out of the two. But Imzi, thank you for that question, bro. Thanks a lot. Other questions? Okay, boom. Alex, why we should just sell Barkley? Only point we sign him was to flip him. Conte said it himself. It was an investment signing. You guys, at Chelsea, there's two things we're doing now. I can tell you, we're looking at either marquee signings or coup signings. And what do I mean by coup signings? Coup signings are the type of signings where, you know, you can buy them for a very, very good price in regards to the market, and they're an investment. I can tell you guys that Chelsea are still looking at Luke Shaw, so don't be surprised if anything does happen with him, but he's still someone that is on the radar, and the club would ideally try to sign if he does become available. So that is interesting. But if he was signed, Luke Shaw is going to be a coup signing. He's not going to be like, oh, you know, the marquee big name. And I think this summer showed it, you know, with guys like, you know, Kovacic being a coup because obviously the deal was just great. But Kepa and Jorginho being the marquee guys that are like the big ones for the first team. And it's interesting. It is interesting. Again, it always depends on who's available in the market in regards to who your coup signings are. But I mean, it'll be interesting to see what other players we're looking at. Other questions. Alex, Super Frankie, 100%, man. Femi, Lampard, definitely a more effective. Yeah, he is. It's not even my bias as a Chelsea fan. I just think that he was much better. I don't understand why he isn't rated enough. I don't think maybe with us Chelsea fans, we don't gas up our players enough like, Man United fans do or Liverpool fans do. They create all these stories and legends from their old ex-pros. And at Chelsea, it doesn't really happen like that, which is a bit weird. Diego Lazzo, Lampard, best player in PL history. Yep, he's up there. Scholes was injured quite a lot, many times in his career. Yes, let's not forget when he had that eye injury where he was out for a season. So, yeah, I think that Lampard was just consistently better. Okay, Nicholas Jacobson, Barkley don't have... yeah, I personally don't think he has enough end products. I don't understand why people think I hate on Ross Barkley. There is one annoying thing, and anytime people make that type of comment, to me, it's basically saying that you're not really listening to what I'm saying. You're thinking of things too black and white. I mean, I use video clips. I speak very clearly to. I use the right context on top of that as well. So I don't know. But to be honest, sometimes it takes people their own time until they understand. So let's go play the long game with that. I'm gonna answer some Patreon questions. Neil, yes, Neil, how are you? Hey Nini, excited about what I saw versus Arsenal. All the talk about this new style being leaky in defence and Arsenal being close to winning is bullshit. 100%. Has me thinking, did no one see the second half? It's been forgotten about. The second half has been forgotten about. Some of the build-up play in that second half. I mean, you guys, if we were more clinical, we could have won this 5-2, 4-2, 6-2. So I don't understand why everyone's decided to forget about that. But again, press media, they need talking points. Maybe Chelsea and their performance isn't a big enough talking point. Maybe I guess Arsenal, there are more Arsenal fans than Chelsea fans. So maybe they're thinking, well, if we speak about Arsenal more, we're likely to get more viewers for the show. I know it sounds cynical, but this is how the media works. So I wouldn't be surprised by that. But yeah. We didn't give them a sniff in the second half. 100% we did not. Sarri took care of our issues, and Kovacic's sub plugged in the holes on the left-hand side, yes, and it stopped Bellerin getting forward as well. And I also feel we missed Zuma. I agree too. We are going to be fan out of position at times in this new system. Crucial to have defenders like Zuma who can then recover with pace and cheat code their way to snuff threats out. Christensen should come in. His better positioning will help. Here's the thing. This is what I'm trying to say. I don't think it's a case yet of... There's a reason why I'm not being too critical with the defenders, because as I keep saying, it's a process. I've watched the Arsenal game twice now, and one thing I was really focusing on was how we press off the ball. With Sarri, it's all about positions. Now, tomorrow's video, I'm praying. I mean, to be honest, I think tomorrow I should be fine. I've been working on a comparison between Conte and Sarri. So you guys will definitely enjoy tomorrow's video. I'll use a lot of footage, a lot of nice edits as well. And I find hopefully it's not going to get blocked, and I think I'll be fine. But yeah, I mean, really looking at things, it was more systematic compared to being individual errors. I mean, number one, the wingers weren't really tracking back at times. Number two, when we were pressing, the front players weren't as close to the midfield players, so there were big gaps for the Arsenal to play out from the back, and this is why they were able to find Bellerin on the on the outlet out wides and to create those 1v1s against Alonso. And you got to realize, Sarri himself said that during that 15 minutes where he was even considering to stop smoking, he was stating that we stopped pressing as a team, and he didn't mean that we just got lazy and we stopped. He meant that the pressing wasn't coordinated. We weren't pressing as a unit, and because we weren't doing that, we were able to give Arsenal possession, and that's the main thing. But again, you're right, with someone like Zuma, who I feel his positioning is better than Rudiger's. I always look at Rudiger. I feel sometimes it's not because he's dumb. It's the fact that I think he is just very arrogant, which is not... You want your players to be arrogant, because obviously Rudiger's a fantastic footballer. This passing, playing out from the back, the one-touch stuff is great. But there's two things I'm always looking at Rudiger still. Number one, his aerial presence. Really look at him. How many times does he get caught behind the opposition striker? He doesn't time things properly enough. And it's because his positions. I mean, he's either too deep or he's too further forwards. And I think with someone like Kurt Zuma, we've seen those last-ditch tackles he's made on guys like Aguero and Sterling. His positioning's been very good on top of that as well. Plus, I think he's up there with Van Dijk for the best aerial defenders in the Premier League, because the guy is like Michael Jordan in the air. So I think with Zuma, if he smacks at Everton, it's going to force the club to really strongly consider him. So, again, but personally, I agree too. But with Christensen, Again, if you're looking at Christensen, I think you have to replace Rudiger. I think Luis has to be a first choice defender. I think he's too crucial for the defence. Now, I was looking at Luis against Arsenal. Again, I watched the game twice. And, you know, obviously if I'm analysing, I got to slow stuff down, rewind, etc., etc. But there was one thing Luis was doing good against Aubameyang that didn't get any credit. And that was the fact that Luis knew that he couldn't obviously beat Aubameyang when it comes to a foot race. Of course not. He's not fast enough compared to Aubameyang. But it was his positioning. And it was so intelligent. And when people are always telling me, oh, he's a liability, this and liability, that, the amount of times he was stopping Aubameyang from doing stuff purely by getting in the right positions, closing down the channels, stopping him from moving on to his stronger foot, happened every single time. And there's another thing that people didn't really pay attention to, and that's the fact that our offside trap was working very well against Arsenal, and that's something that's getting better and better and better. How many times was Aubameyang offside because our offside trap was on point? So this is what I mean. It's a process. We're going to get better at this defending. It's only going to get better, and I'm optimistic, and I'm thinking already. Every week I'm seeing more improvements, more improvements. You guys, I mean, this season's looking very exciting. It's looking very exciting. Answering some more questions. And sorry for that long answer, but you know, I was just a bit too gassed about the question. But what are the questions? Boom. Kwame. Actually, okay, shit, I missed that one. Kwame, I just had a weird feeling that Rudy will replace Boateng in the future. You know what? I was thinking that too. I wouldn't be too surprised if something like that happened. Alex Basher, Arsenal is most likely going to get kicked out of the knockout stages of the Europa League. Most likely the first stage. I'm not too sure just yet. Jay Addy, where would you rate Drogba among the great strikers? I think Drogba, if you guys remember this guy for Fiorentina, it was called Batistuta. I know I really fucked up his surname then. Batistuta. Because I look at Drogba a lot. You know, sometimes I like to reminisce. I like to look at all the old highlight clips on YouTube. And he's a very unique striker. I mean, if you really think about it, who in the world today has a similar playing style in regards to Drogba? I mean, the guy was such a complete forward. I mean, he could get assists. He could score from outside the box. He could score from free kicks. His heading was world class. His finishing too. His overall play. I mean, he could play on the last line. He could play as a target man. He could move out wide to the wings as well. And that's such a unique thing for strikers to have. And I'm just thinking, due to that playing style, I think Drogba is one of the greatest strikers. I think, obviously, if you look back in history, which people will do, they'll look at his stats and they'll think, oh, he only scored this many goals, blah, blah, blah. He's not good enough. But people are going to forget that this guy was constantly injured. Like, remember that season when he scored 37 goals? He was still, I think he still had the African nations, and he was still injured for like 3 weeks too during that season. So he could have easily beaten 40 goals if it didn't come down to stuff like that. And I just think, yeah, when he was, it was a shame that he was never fully fit. And of course, I don't think it's a coincidence, but when Mourinho wasn't in charge and when Mourinho wasn't using him as a target man like Ibra and guys like that, you could see the real Didier Drogba. And I think that, I mean, that's the only frustrating thing in my opinion. If this guy wasn't unfortunate with injuries, he would have scored way more goals and he'd still be, I think he'd be revered even more. Other questions. Occupied Llama. Where is it? Batshuayi is Drogba. Oh, nah, I wouldn't. Nah, Batshuayi definitely isn't Drogba. I think Batshuayi is a young Drogba. Like when Drogba was playing for like, what was the team? He played for Marseille before Marseille. Was he at, what team was Drogba at? Was it Lens? I can't remember the top of my head. But I think now with Mitchell, I mean, he's got the movement. He's got very good movement inside the box. But I think with Mitchell, he's more of a poacher. I've always thought Mitchell is similar to someone like Falcao. Yes, Nini, Drogba versus Costa. Obviously, it has to be Drogba because Drogba just had way more assets in his game. And someone's saying Jimmy Greaves. This is what I'm saying. I was making that point about, people in the future will look back in history. They'll look at Drogba's stats and they'll think, he didn't score that many goals compared to other guys. He's not as good. To be honest, I've never seen Jimmy Greaves play. This was before my time. I don't even know what type of player he was like. I know he's got a shit ton of goals, but I don't know. I can't have him in my personal team of Chelsea's best ever team because I haven't seen him play. But something's telling me I'm sure Jimmy Greaves couldn't do the same stuff on the ball that guys like Drogba could do. So that's how I see it. Okay, what other questions? You guys, as I'm saying, if you want your questions prioritized, send a super chat. It doesn't have to be nothing crazy. Donal, Devan, how are you, man? Bring back he who should not be named for one video. That's never going to happen. He's blocked me on Twitter too, thank God. We don't communicate anymore. I prefer to keep it like that. So, sorry, man. That's probably never going to happen. Oh, Zaki Mahmood. Oh, shit, bro. Thank you for pledging on Patreon. I really appreciate that, man. Thanks a lot. And yeah, if you send your question in, I can answer. Okay. Aina, do you think Aina for Torino look good? Plus, which loan move are you happiest with for the season? And you know what? The loan move I'm really happiest with is probably Aina, because I'm thinking he's at a club in Torino where they use attacking fullbacks and wingbacks. Big clubs tend to look at the fullbacks from Torino. I mean, guys like Bruno Perez, Barrera, Zappa Costa, Damian, etc., etc. I think Aina is going to be learning how to defend even better. I told you guys beforehand that one major criticism that a lot of coaches gave him at Chelsea was the fact that he would just switch off. His concentration would just go. And obviously going to Serie A, that can't happen because, you know, the managers, the coaches are constantly working on positioning, defending off the ball. So he's only going to become a more complete player. But at the same time, he gets to play towards his natural strengths, which is going forward and attacking. And I think that he probably got the best loan move, because if he does well at Torino, more clubs in Europe are going to look at him. His career is only going to get better, and he can only go up from there. I mean, worst comes to worst, Torino are like, you know what, we want to sign this guy permanently, and then I think Aina will have a great career. So yeah, I think he got the best loan move out of everyone, to be honest. Other questions. As I'm saying, you guys, you want your question prioritized, send a super chat, or if not, consider becoming a Patreon subscriber. There's going to be a lot of perks. I'm going to be releasing a WhatsApp group chat that's going to be coming soon, exclusive videos, etc., etc. So I mean, yeah, you're definitely going to be covered. Other questions. Oh, message deleted. But again, bro, thank you for that super chat. Yes, Nikki, thoughts on our right-hand side with Pedro and Azpilicueta. Now, of course, a lot of people were sending me past maps of Sarri with Napoli, and they were telling me about Husai. And I've kept saying the same point. Obviously, I know how Napoli play. I know that his side doesn't push forward as much as Alonso. The whole point I was trying to make was that even though, yes, of course, Aspi is going to play a more support role, Sarri's not expecting Aspi to be too conservative. I mean, again, you guys, when you look at the pass maps, you have like these little like arrows pointing upwards, and his side was still making those runs forward when he needed to. You looked at Aspi's and you didn't see a single arrow pointing upwards, and I think that I think when Aspi plays in the system more, hopefully he's going to feel more confident going forwards. And I think he's just playing it a bit too conservatively at this moment in time. I'm only saying that because certain times he was always like a yard behind people when the play was moved to the right hand side. Of course, you got to look at it like this, you know, it's mainly when we're attacking and the play's down the left hand side. That's when his positioning is going to be a bit deeper. But then again, don't play it too safe every single time. Don't be too conservative. You still need to push forward in certain moments to speed up the play. And I think over time that should get better with Pedro as well. Again, playing in that role where he does have a free role in that sense, where of course the play is mostly focused down that left-hand side. Now beforehand, when I was telling you guys, I wonder if Sarri is going to possibly change things up a bit to maybe balance out how we break teams down, you know, keep it balanced on the left and keep it balanced on the right. But it looks like he is going to continue focusing down the left-hand side. I mean, it makes a lot of sense. I mean, think of it like this. When we keep the ball, we're able to then switch the play quickly and then switch it back again. And, you know, that's a logical thing. And I can understand why Sarri is doing that. And I think Pedro is definitely profiting from that because, again, he is left on mark in a sense. And he can focus on his runs and behind. And because he's playing in a much higher up position, I think that goal, the first goal against Arsenal, really summed it up. And I think that sums up Pedro as well. And I think that playing in this system is pretty, not identical to Pep at Barcelona, but is very, very, very similar. And I think this is why he's prospering so far. And again, yeah, I'm going to give him a few more games. I'm thinking maybe I could have been a bit too reactionary during pre-season, because I felt that Pedro wasn't that good in pre-season. I have to be honest. I didn't think he did enough. But now maybe I'm starting to realize, well, maybe it's a fitness thing. You know, we have to realize that pre-season, it's all about building match fitness, stamina, etc., etc. Pedro's looking much fitter as well. And I don't think he's fully there just yet. You know, you guys in the second half against Arsenal when Willian came off, Pedro's performance went down a bit because he looked tired. So I still think a lot of these guys probably need until the end of the month to be fully match fit. But I think that, again, the balance on that right hand side's only going to get better. And again, it's just more things we're seeing that's going to get better over time. Other questions. Phil fulfills. Kante will score at least 10 goals. Surprise for his doubters. Maybe. I think Kante should be getting at least 5 minimum for the season. I think 10 could be a bit too ambitious. I'm not too sure though, but we'll see. But I think, yeah, I don't understand why everyone is so surprised about how Kante is being used. I mean, did no one see what Alan was doing at Napoli? Kante can easily play this role. It's not as if Kante's being told to do something alien. I mean, when he was we see how he presses the ball further up. He's got great passing as well. And when he's got more support around him, it's going to be better. And I think playing in a position like that is only going to improve him and make him a more complete player. Like, beforehand, you know, like, when we first signed Kante like 2 years ago under Conte, I used to compare him to Vidal a lot. You know, with Vidal, you know, the guy started off as like a fullback and defender, and then he progressively moved his way up and up the pitch, and then he developed that goal threat where, you know, he was the guy that can consistently get you 10 goals. I think that Kante can definitely improve in the offensive capacity, and I think that playing in that system is only going to do wonders for him. And again, we've seen that Kante, his shooting technique is nice. That goal against Leicester, against United as well. I think that with him being closer to the opposition goal more, that's only going to encourage him to take more shots. And I think that would be great to see Kante show that confidence in front of goal more. And I think that, yeah, I mean, if Kante can develop a goal threat on top of him, similar to what guys like Vidal and Michael Essien had, it's only going to make him a more complete player, and it's only going to make the first team stronger. So, again, it's great to see. Other questions? Okay. Abdi. Yes, Abdi. Will we see Alex Goldberg on your channel anytime soon? You two in the video would be amazing. And also, do you think we could go on an amazing run of wins like in Conte's first season, looking at our fixtures? To your second point, yes, I think we can go on a very good run. And Alex Goldberg was supposed to be on this week, but our schedules clashed. But he is going to be on a video with me next week with Joe Tweedy, so you guys stay tuned for that. Alex Goldberg's actually been on my channel already. If you guys go to my, if you go to the playlists, if you go to my homepage, if you scroll down to the bottom where it says my podcast and live streams, he's in one of them. I think it was about Sorry, I can't remember right now. But yeah, he's been on the channel already. So yeah, I mean, Alex, yeah, it'd be great to see him. And Abdi, thank you, Abdi, for becoming a Patreon subscriber. It means a lot. Really appreciate that, bro. Okay, other questions. Let me check the super chat. Okay. Oh, Abdi, thank you again for sending, bro. Real talk, man. You're doing the most right now, but I appreciate it. Thanks a lot. Thanks for signing on Patreon. Harry Truman, shit, man, you forgot to send your question. I'm going to try and look for it in the comment section. Nikki, thank you, bro. What's your long-term goals for the channel Chelsea partnership? Oh, damn. You know what? I always felt, should I keep this like a secret? But I don't know. Maybe I don't have to be that extra. Basically, my long-term plans with this channel. Okay, the long-term plans with this channel are maybe in the next 2 to 3 years, I actually want to build my own football club. And I'm not talking about doing some five-a-side thing. I'm talking about actually registering a team for like the 9th division. Because I mean, I've been doing some research into the process. I have to obviously register to a county, which is probably Middlesex or Surrey for me. I want to develop a team. And I want to document everything. I want camera guys to record me doing the trials. Just record me the daily process of trying to create a football club. I'm going to be doing my coaching badges this year as well. So I want to make sure I can get as many coaching badges as possible before it gets to a stage like that. That's my long-term plan. And I'm not going to lie, it's guys like Sari that have inspired me. You know, again, you guys, you saw my video a month ago when I was talking about, the top 10 facts of Sari. Guys sign off as a banker, doing this as a passion for fun, and then just turning what he loved into a job. Again, real talk, man. Like, with with the world we live in today, if you put your mind to it, there's platforms to do everything. And what really gives me encouragement too is we've seen clubs like AFC Wimbledon and FC United as well. FC United, of course, when the United fans broke away and the Glazers took over, they're doing very well. AFC Wimbledon, these guys were created in 2002. They're in League One right now. League One. My friend Joe Tweedy as well, he told me about this Polish team called, I think, FC Victoria or FC Victoria London. They were only founded 2 years ago in 2016. They've got 2 successive promotions, and they sold one of their players to a third division Polish club for £50,000, and they've got 2 players worth 50,000, and one valued at 75k as well. So you guys, it's really not impossible. And I'll be honest, I'm looking to try and build my reach as much as I can before I can start to do something like that. But I want to do something groundbreaking. I look at guys like KSI, I look at guys like Spencer FC, people that just didn't boil themselves down to one thing. That doesn't mean I'm going to stop Blue Lions. Of course, I think I'll always have to talk about Chelsea. But hopefully when it gets to a point like that, I'll be earning more money in the channel where I could probably pay people to edit my videos for me, so I don't have to waste time doing that, so I can still keep bringing out content for Blue Lions TV. But yeah, you guys, that's my end goal for the channel. That's my end goal. Okay, other questions. Akash, Nini, what's happening with Tammy and Masunda? I'm not hearing anything currently. Now, of course, reports are linking Tammy with a move to Aston Villa. They're trying the most to try and get him. I'm not having that. G-Man A, did I steal it from Andy? Nope, I did not do that at all. He actually gave it to me. It's a long story. I'm not going to get into it, but maybe one day I might get into it. But I mean, I'm not going to do that today. But stealing a channel, don't be real talk, bruv. You got to think, man. Think. Anish, Nini FC. Again, I was thinking, but I call it Nini FC or Blue Lions TV. No, I don't think I would call it Blue Lions FC. I think it'd be a bit too much, but now I'd think of a name when it gets down to it, But Marshall Derby, hey Nini, sorry, I don't know if you have answered this, but who are the main targets for January and who are most likely to leave? Love the content, bro. Thank you, Marshall. To be honest, man, I'm hearing nothing about targets just yet. I mean, to be honest, I don't think I hear anything for a while. And as I said earlier, the club are still looking at Luke Shaw. That's not me stating that they're trying to sign him in January. That's just me stating that they're still keeping an eye out for Luke Shaw. Faculty 17 is Marshall interested? Well, yeah, I've done the videos on that. Hey guys, I'm Nini FC. This is Blue Lions TV. Smash that like bar. Thanks, man. Lucas Paqueta, I really like the player. I can't lie. I really like him. I mean, he'd be a great alternative on the right hand side. I mean, the guy can play everywhere in the final third. So he'd be great. He'd be a great option. Abdul, actually, I think I missed it. Abdul Nini, Kovacic and Hazard to start against Newcastle. I'm not too sure. I mean, let's see what Sari says in his press conference. I'm guessing Sari wants to start them. He'll use them in the first team when they're really match fit. He's not going to risk injuring them or anything like that. So I can't tell you at this moment. Alex, Nini made the channel blow up. Again, you guys, I know you really want me to do this talk about Andy thing. I might do it in the future. At the same time, I'm thinking with a guy like this, he's always trouble. So I don't want to be putting anything out there in the universe that could potentially I don't know. I can't trust. You can never trust a guy like that. So yeah, I just forget about him, to be honest. Brandon Perks, nah, you will nail management. Again, I'm not getting. You guys know I love the tactical sides. I love coaching. What I'm going to start doing too is I'm going to start watching some Sunday League games in my local area just to see how, everything is, to get an idea of how they train, etc., etc. I've got some friends that played non-league and stuff like that, so I'm going to be speaking to them to try and just maybe come down to a training session and see how it is, because Yeah, I mean that's really what I want to do. So I'm thinking really, there's no excuse really. I mean, what's really stopping me from pursuing something like that? Um, okay, when are you going to do your coaching badges? I'm not too sure just yet, to be honest. But again, it just depends on when this channel becomes financially stable. Because when it does, when it brings in a consistently decent income, then I can focus on that. Because you guys, when it comes to coaching badges in this country, it does cost a lot of money, and I want to make sure that obviously I can do everything properly. You know. Other questions. Other questions. You guys, 1 second. Zaki, yes, Zaki. Starting 11 for the weekend. To be honest, man, I think the starting 11 is going to be the same one we saw against Arsenal. I think that's the fittest 11 so far, and I'm expecting that to continue, to be honest. Um, yes, Aina, Nini, get a UEFA B license. It can help a lot. My friend immediately got a job in China after he got his license. Yeah, honestly, man, like when I do my coaching badges, I want to go to the very top and get all of them. And I was thinking two things. One, it would be a great like documentary series, like you guys, because if any one of you guys were considering getting your badges or anything, I'd like to maybe do like a vlogging series on that, so you guys can understand the process, get an idea of things you need to learn, what you need to do. But I think that's something that I would like to do. I'd like to get that UEFA B and really just like try and master the craft and really understand everything, because even though I think my analysis on football is decent. I'm not an arrogant guy. I never have been. I know I've got a lot of things to learn in regards to training sessions, how to coach players, etc., etc. But I think it would be a fun thing to do, to be honest. And yeah, I mean that's what I really, really want to do. Christian, with Zaha and Bailey renewing their contracts, who is the likely winger will buy next season or in January? Do you see us paying for one of these two still? I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest. It is kind of natural in that sense. With Bailey, it made sense. There's no way in hell if we weren't going to meet the demands that Craig Butler put on us, there's no way in hell Roma would be able to meet them. And Craig Butler doesn't want Bailey to go to Roma. If you're leaving Bayer Leverkusen, you're leaving to go to one of the big clubs in Europe. And ideally, they all want him to go to Chelsea. We'll see what happens, but I think that if anything, it's going to have to make Craig Butler reassess how he negotiates, because again, for him to really demand what he wants, Leon Bailey would have to have a stupid year this season. He'd have to score like 25 goals, and he'd have to just do a complete madness to be able to justify that price. But now I think that realistically, I see Craig in the future just readjusting his position. Neil, yes, Neil. I know a lot of us are wary of City and Liverpool, but we only play them 4 times this season. We'll get some points there. Yeah, you're right. But focus on the non-top six. That's 84 points up for grabs. I don't see our shot-taking rate going down in the majority of those games. That gives us a great shot at all 84 of them. The top six will end up splitting points for... Thank you, Neil. Neil, you're saying exactly what I've been saying. This was the same thing I said last season for my season preview. I knew that the quality of the big clubs is very high. They'll be taking points from each other, which they did do. I mean, there was a healthy amount of points distributed between the top six. But the reason why I knew Man City were going to win the league was because I knew they were the most likely team to get the most points against the bottom 16 clubs, which they did do, obviously getting 100 points that season. I knew that they wouldn't be able to cope with the system that Pep implements. And this is why I'm feeling very confident for this season, because teams in this country don't like playing against a possession style of football. It's very hard for them, especially when it means our best players will be touching the ball more, especially when we play so fluidly and we play so quickly on top of that as well. They're not going to get as much joy. I think maybe the only thing that could affect us could possibly be not being clinical enough in certain games. But I still think that we're going to have a very good season this year. But Neil, you're 1000% right, man. 100% right. Whoever beats the bottom 16 clubs, the bottom 14 clubs, they're going to win the league. Other questions. Nikki, what formation style would your team play? Sorry, bro. You guys, I'm always going on about good football and wanting to see entertainment. Now, I'd be the biggest hypocrite in the world if I turned into a Mourinho where I was all about defending off the ball and being defensive and playing on the counter attack. That could never be me. I mean, I'd have to really learn how to coach and develop that style of attacking football. But of course, you know me. You know me. I want to have Nini ball. You know what I mean? Um, yes, George. What should we prioritize more, top four or the Europa League? George, to be honest, man, I'm telling you this directly, bro. You need to have higher ambitions. With Chelsea, look at the squad we have, look at the players we have, look at the football we're playing as well. We're still not even at 100% sorry ball just yet. And already we've scored 6 goals in the past 2 games. It's going to be both. It's not going to be one or the other. Europa League, in my opinion, it doesn't start until the group stages. And that's when the Champions League clubs, the third place clubs get knocked out and go to the Europa League. And I think that it should be pretty easy for us. I can't lie. It's going to be both. You got to realise too with the Europa League, we're not going to be using Hazard in the group stage games. So this is like a perfect scenario because our best players can get fully rested for upcoming games in the league, and it's not going to jeopardise the team. So yeah, it's not about prioritising top 4 the Europa League. We're going to be doing both. So yeah, man. Other questions? Boom. What other ones? As I'm saying, you guys, if anyone wants any questions prioritized, send a super chat. Or if you want to help support the channel, you want to help me become a coach quicker, nah, I'm messing around. But consider becoming a Patreon subscriber as well. I've got a lot of stuff happening in the next few weeks. So yeah, it's definitely going to be good for the season. What other questions? Forwards, top 4, City, Liverpool, Chelsea, United. I think so too. It depends on United and Mourinho, to be honest. But I think top 3, I think Liverpool, City, and us. Kadri, Nini, do you watch Gary Neville's defense of Unai Emery? I did watch it. I thought he made very good points, especially when he was talking about the fact that when he was at Valencia, he kept changing the system all the time because he wasn't sticking with one thing, maybe because it was a lack of confidence. And he said that it affected the team because you got to realise that's what you're doing in training sessions. You're preparing for the next game. You're working on moves and plays, etc., etc. And yeah, I mean, this is why they look all over the place and look so haphazard. So I thought Neville made very good points on Monday Night Football. Lewis Ratner, sorry, should have sold Willian and loaned Ruben. I mean, yeah, if you're selling Willian, it means you're bringing in a replacement for him. And it looked like we couldn't have got one in the end. So maybe it's a good thing that we didn't get rid of Willian so quickly. Talar Rafiq. Busted in my girls. Oh, good lord. Real talk, man. It's too late for this talk. It's too late for it. You can't be telling me this madness at this time. Donald Devan, Nini, yes, bro. Do you think that Marcus Alonso could ever play as a striker? No. He's not a striker. You got to realize when you play as don't just look at the goals. You got to look at how you play as a striker. You got to realize it's about the movement, understanding the positionings. It's a completely different game. So nah, I know he scores goals, but just because he scored doesn't mean you're a striker. Yes, I'm gonna answer some more Patreon questions. Yes, forward thinking. Yes, man. What's up, bro? Being inactive on the channel, but still proud of the growth and the quality content. I appreciate that, man. Thanks. Question: What do you make of constant criticism of Luiz as a centre-back, despite having a Champions League and a Europa League medal, playing in a 4-4 whilst he was at Paris Saint-Germain, not to mention his stellar season in a back 3? Honestly, I think it's incredibly harsh. I really think the criticism is unfounded because he hasn't done anything wrong yet. All of the criticism I'm seeing of Luiz is like potential mistakes he could make. It's like we're not living in Minority Report times. I don't understand why everyone thinks they can predict the future. I was making the point with Luiz when he was really he did very good against Aubameyang. He got no credit for it, and a lot of times he was stopping Aubameyang with his smart positioning because again, you can't compete with him in a foot race. And Luiz was always making sure that he was dropping deeper and cutting out the channels for Aubameyang to run into. And I think he did a very good job. And I keep saying too, when we look at defenders, don't just look at the times when they win a ball in the air or they win a 50-50. Look at their positioning. Now, I know it's hard on TV because it only focuses on the ball with the camera. But when you're live in a game, you see the positions they take up. And, that's like the hardest stuff, the positioning, when you defend. I mean, that's what Christensen is amazing at, and this is why Conte really rated Christensen, because I mean, his defending off the ball is amazing. It's of a very high level. A lot of times Christensen doesn't need to make a tackle because he's already blocked off that passing lane just by moving a few yards to the right or the left. And I think that's what Luiz did against Aubameyang very well. And I think it's very unfounded. I think he's a leader. He marshals the defence. And his passing ability as well is crucial and it's key. And I think that, I mean, you see how we play out. I mean, just how quick the passing is from the back with guys like him, Rudiger, Jorginho. Teams, I mean, when Arsenal tried to press us down, I think only once or twice were they actually able to win the ball in our own half. We always beat their press. We always played through it. And having someone like Luiz in the team is key when it comes to that. So I don't understand why everyone's getting so nervous in regards to Luiz. I don't understand it, to be honest. Abdi, if you were a manager stylistically and tactically, who would you be like and your favourite formation? I mean, to be honest, I've always been a 4-3-3 guy. I'd either be 4-3-3 or I'd be very offensive and I'd do like a 4-4-2. But yeah, I mean 4-3-3 and obviously playing possession football and breaking teams down that way. I mean that's the type of football I like. And if you think about, managers always develop tactics based on the type of football they enjoy and the type of football they like. So I'll just continue down that same path. Other questions. Femi, Lever needs to be saved from that league. He's done all he can at Bayern, and it's kind of funny how no one was able to meet the asking price Bayern Munich wanted, and that's the real reason why he stayed. FUTV, bro, you've inspired me to try and get my coaching badges as well. I like to be bro, go for it. I mean, I wish in this country they made it easier for people to obviously get to get their badges. I think it's too expensive. At the same time, too, coaches don't get paid much at all, really. And this is what I'm hoping to do with my channel, because I'm in that unique position where, again, let's say in the next 2-3 years when I do this, hopefully the channel's earning enough. I've developed everything I need to do. The channel is much bigger. I can actually produce content around trying to become a coach. Hopefully it inspires more people to try and give it a go as well. And in a way, it's like I can help pay off the course because I'm making money from videos, etc., etc. So I mean that's basically my plan. Stealthy Ninja, do you agree with the CFC loan system? Keep up the good work. I definitely don't. I think it's immoral because it's always money and profit over the actual development of the players. So I definitely don't agree with it. And it's no surprise why, why UEFA are looking into things, because again, you're messing around with young players' careers here. Malcolm X Nini, thoughts on the media saying Jorginho can't defend well and Kante should swap places with Jorginho. Honestly, bro, when you see those nonsense opinions, it tells you, number one, their understanding of football isn't as sophisticated as they like to think it is. And number two, they never bothered to watch Sarri. I mean, it's just complete nonsense in my opinion. We're not defending. Again, when we're defending, you guys just have to focus on how we press. That's how we're going to be defending this season. We're not going to be defending off the ball, soaking up pressure. We're going to be defending by taking the front foot and pressing. Look at the positionings. Look at how far the players are apart when they're pressing. Look at who starts the press and who instigates it. All them types of things. They're the things we need to critique. We shouldn't be critiquing stuff like, Marcus Alonso wasn't in position. Because here's the thing. When we play with the ball, the minute those, Jorginho, Luiz, Rudiger have the ball, you have to understand that our fullbacks will be pushing into midfield to be passing outlets in midfield. Let's say if Luiz or Jorginho or Rudiger or Kepa lose the ball in our own half, naturally, of course, Alonso and Aspi are going to be out of position. But it's not going to be their fault because, again, that's their job. They have to push forward. It's going to be the fault of whoever loses the ball in our own half. And that's how we need to see things. So, again, it's a very different way in which you'll be playing off the ball. And I think that it will take fans probably, I'm not saying you guys, but just in general, it's going to take people a while to get used to how we're doing things differently. But I mean, these so-called experts, I mean, they really aren't, because I just don't think they do their due diligence. They're not researching into it. I mean, the amount of games I watched Sarri play, especially over the summer, I rewatched a lot of games going on Reddit streams and Galataman on top of that as well, to download games to watch how they play. And I just think that if you actually did that, you wouldn't be making such stupid points because, again, it doesn't matter that Jorginho can't do that. That's not why he's in the team. So, I don't know, you guys. It does baffle me sometimes. But, yeah, forward. Peace out, guys. Yeah, good night, bro. Take care. Are there any more super chats? Have I missed out on any? Yeah, you guys, I'm going to be on for a little bit more. As I'm saying, if anyone wants any questions prioritized, send a super chat so I can answer your question. D Lord, yes, bro, what you saying? You good? I'm going to look at Patreon questions in case there are any more. You guys, as I'm saying, consider being a Patreon subscriber as well. Yes, okay, Ina, where do you see Everton finishing this season? I think they made really good signings and I can see them going far. I think so too, Richarlison's definitely picked up a lot of form. He's looking much more lethal in front of goal. I think with the investments they made as well, some great signings. Have upgraded positions in the team. Let's not forget that. I still think maybe they could be a bit weak when it comes to the forward. But again, Tosin was playing in a shit system last year. And again, they only just signed this guy in January, so I'm not going to be too critical of him. But I think that with Everton, I think they've basically cemented their place in the top 10. But it's going to be interesting to see how far they develop, basically. But I think, that defense is looking very strong. Digne, Mina, Zuma, and Coleman, he's back now. Midfield with Gay, Gomez, and then you've got Bernards. You've got Richarlison as well. You've got Carroll, Davis. I mean, it's decent. It's decent. Abdi, Nini, do you think it's possible for Azpilicueta to play in a two-man centre-back pairing at some point in the season? I was thinking this because of his versatility and how good Sarri is at coaching players. I don't think so. I think with Azpilicueta, again, there's a lot of responsibility on those two defenders in the middle to be good on the ball. And Aspi just loses possession too much. I mean, we saw it under Conte last season in a back three. He loses the ball too much, and I think he doesn't have that type of aerial presence or that that type of not warrior spirit, but what's the word? That type of aggressiveness to really be that guy. End of the day, Sarri still is an Italian manager. He still wants his defenders to be pretty tall, pretty strong, and really aggressive. I don't think Aspi is that guy, to be honest. So yeah, I don't see Sarri using him. Another question. I have been thinking about getting my license. Not that I want to go to China. Let me know when you go for yours. You should make a Kickstarter page where we can donate to your license. Again, you know what? I don't think I'd ask for a Kickstarter. I don't know. I kind of think that, in a way, people supporting the channel by watching the videos, watching the adverts, which obviously makes a big difference. I know sometimes the ads can be annoying you guys, but again, with how YouTube is, it does obviously help me do this where I can. I'm closer and closer to making this a full-time thing for this season. But I think at that stage when I fully pursue everything, I think that you guys would have already done enough. Hopefully I can get more Patreon subs. Hopefully the channel's even bigger, earning more. I think that I could just fund it myself and do it that way. So again, I was thinking that, but I don't know. I don't think I'd be comfortable with that because I'd rather just you know what I mean. I don't want that responsibility on top of that. But yeah, I'll let you know when I consider doing it, when I'm ready to do it, of course. Maybe sometime next year, maybe summer. That's when I was thinking of starting that. But yeah, of course, I'll let you know. I'll let you know on Twitter or the group chat, which I'm going to have too. So yeah, man, 100%. What other questions? Jordan CFC, thank you, bro. Nini, could Di Matteo have a role at CFC? I'm not too sure where he could have a role because, again, we've got the assistant manager sorted already. I don't know. I haven't heard him consider for being a director of football. I don't think Di Matteo would want to do something like that, especially when he's been a manager as well. There's no way when you're managing clubs like Schalke and, you're winning a Champions League and FA Cup where you consider moving back to being a coach. So I don't see Di Matteo having any role at Chelsea in the future. You guys, 1 second. Okay. What other questions? I'm going to stay on for another 15-20 minutes before I cut you guys. Okay. Golden Viper CFC. Do you think people will buy Kovacic if he does well? Yeah, of course. There's a very strong possibility that will be the case. Abdul Ali, hey Nini, thoughts on Kepa against Arsenal? Love the content. Again, I thought it was a confident performance, especially when it came to playing out from the back. I mean, there were a lot of times he was making a lot of very, brave and smart first time passes. And I was just thinking, if that was Courtois, this guy would constantly hit the ball long. And then, obviously, it just makes you realise even more. This is why we spent the money on Kepa, because he is one of the best ball playing goalkeepers out there. And we do need a goalkeeper like that for the system. People are telling me that he should have done better for one of the Arsenal goals, but I'm thinking, come on, you guys, if you expect a player to score from that position, so I'm not going to be too critical of him. But he looks confident. That's what I like. He plays with his head up all the time. It's constantly up when he's passing. And yeah, I think that, as I'm saying, you guys, I think he's going to be a player that's going to grow on fans more and more when they see him play. But okay, Daniel. Yes, Daniel. Yes, man. And Daniel, I always enjoy reading your tweets, man. You make a lot of very great tactical analyses and very great points of football. Don't you get sponsored if you take the badges when you already coach a youth team? That's how it is in Norway. At least they pay for your badges. I'm not too sure, to be honest, man. I'm not too sure. Like I'm saying, the main reason as to why I want to do my coaching badges is because I do want to create my own football club. I don't want to necessarily work for a club, because if I did that, I couldn't do a channel. And I'm thinking, I want my career to basically be what I'm doing, but I just want to take what I'm doing to another level. Similar to like guys like a Spencer FC and KSI and all of this. And it's just about growing my reach and just getting better. You know what I mean? But I'm not too sure how it works. I don't think it works like that just yet. But again, I haven't done all my research just yet, because it is still quite a distance in the future. But I mean, yeah, when I get closer to that stage, I'm going to be looking at it more. Demar Thomas Nini, I think if Ruben improves his work rate, he will have a big chance in our starting lineup. Again, bro, I can't really agree on the work rate thing. I think that's a very old point people are bringing up. I don't think it's got anything to do with Ruben being lazy. It's how he just hasn't, maybe he hasn't had enough time to work under Sarri in terms of, positioning and stuff like that. I mean, Ruben's not a lazy player. I mean, no one, I'm guessing no one watched him for Crystal Palace, but the guy was constantly involved in the play. People make it sound like Ruben just stands still and lets players walk by him. I mean, he wasn't doing anything like that. I mean, we're making it sound like he's Bakayoko off the ball, which he isn't. So I definitely don't agree that Ruben is lazy whatsoever. Again, it's Ruben. He's playing as a box of books. You have to look at the runs he does make going forward as well. Like, would you call De Bruyne lazy because his positioning deep isn't like amazing? Of course not. I mean, De Bruyne is constantly moving, constantly being a passing outlet, constantly breaking the lines, constantly driving with the ball, etc., etc. And that's what Ruben does. Joanne Razak, I've watched this channel for time, but still don't know how old you are, Nini, if you don't mind me asking. Bro, that's something I won't be saying. Tala, Nini, to buy Chelsea and have a financial overhaul with that YouTube money soon. Imagine that. That would be that. But honestly, I want to do my own thing. I've always been someone that likes to do my own thing. Thoughts on the Man City documentary? I haven't seen it just yet. I haven't had the time to see it just yet, but I will. Imad, yes, bro, you good man. We had a very fun talk on Twitter. Can't forget that, obviously. Nini, how long should we judge Aspie as a right back before we turn on him? To be honest, again, with how quickly a lot of the players are just understanding more and more things in the system, I don't think it's going to take Aspie too long. I mean, he hasn't been awful, but I think that he's been a bit too conservative at times. And I think that just over time, naturally, he's going to play with more confidence. When I mean confidence, not like, it's not as if he's got a lack of confidence in his ability. I mean, having confidence in terms of understanding his role better in the system. So I think that, yeah, it's just patience. Okay. Wisdom. Hey, Nini, what will it take to make the cut to join the WhatsApp group chat? Will be a dream for me. Hey, Wisdom, thanks, bro. If you want to make the WhatsApp group chat, you do have to be a Patreon subscriber. So that is the best way to do it. And you know what? I'm going to, I think by this week, I'm going to have the group chat ready. So I'm going to get that sorted. Harry Lee, Nini, did you hear what Droops said about Hazard not doing anything in the Arsenal game? Yeah, I heard what Droops said. Obviously, Droops is a cool guy. I've met him a few times before. But Droops, yeah, I think, here's the thing, when you watch a game, right after a game in the heat of the moment, end of the day, you are a fan. Naturally, you're going to have your fan hat on. when you're giving your thoughts and opinions. I'm sure if he watched it again, he'd change his mind. But I think in the heat of the moment, he was like, oh, Hazard didn't do much. But I mean, you know what, it is what it is. Other questions? What other questions? Which other ones? Okay. Neil, thanks for answering my questions, man. I heard your last stream with Joe Tweedy, top stuff again, and you guys were talking of how bad we are at not offloading players this summer. I feel all of these will go by next summer, I agree. I ran some numbers, and in my opinion, we're sitting on 325 million of funds that will be available by next window from Pasalic, who's doing well at Atalanta so far. He's been scoring goals as well. He's playing as part of a front three, which is pretty interesting. Kind of like what Nainggolan was doing for Roma. Bakayoko, Aina, Omaruo, why did I fuck that name up? Drinkwater, potentially either Alonso or Emerson, William Cahill, potentially the Michi Murata, Giroud Masunda, Van Ginkel, Piazon, Kennedy, Zappacosta, and Cesc. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money to get 2 top forwards and 2 top fullbacks and still have a 0 net spend over 2 seasons. I don't think our board realizes the amount we're sitting on. We go and haggle for 20 million on a top player. Our board is horrible at math. I hope you are great at it and show them that it's done when you become a manager, lol. I mean, to be honest, I'll probably make Joe Tweedy my director of football if something like that happened, to be honest. So, but yeah, I mean, you are right. I think, again, with Bakayoko, as long as this guy plays, if he plays, then they will be exercising the right to buy him at the end for 35 million. So you lost out on no money for him. With Pasalic, I mean, if he has a great year in Serie A, which it looks like he's doing, I'm sure someone's going to sign him. But then, the other guys as well, your Piazons, Masundas, you're right. There's a lot of money here that can be used to spend back on the team. And I think that I expect that next season we're going to strengthen even more, to sign even more key players for the team. So, I mean, that is the benefit, that is the bonus, that is something to look forward to. It's not as if we're a poor club. People think the reason why we don't spend is because we can't afford it. I mean, we don't spend because we like to haggle, basically. So yeah, I mean, it gives you even more reason to be optimistic for the future. Sorry, you guys. Other questions? Okay, what other questions? Dennis. Yes, Dennis. Yes, brother. Yes, bro. How do you think playing on Thursday night Europa League will affect our season? To be honest, I don't see it affecting our season. As I keep saying, the Europa League doesn't count until after the Champions League group stage has been decided. We're going to be resting all our top players during the group stage games. You don't need to play them against the minnows in Europe. I mean, really, you don't need to at all. No team should really be testing us or bothering us. And I think that, in a way, it's going to be a benefit to our season. As I'm saying, we can rest our top players for key games, for league games. Plus, we can keep the squad happy because these guys get an opportunity to play. So I see it being the same thing. Abdi Yadan, yes, bro. What about DT? In my opinion, the guy knows zilch and is a shout merchant. Tactically knows nothing and made his career off screaming. I don't know DT personally, so I can't say anything. I don't watch all his videos, I can't lie, so I don't know all his opinions. So it is hard for me to say that. But I mean, I like what these guys do. I think that what they're doing is decent. So yeah, man, I can't really say anything about that. Imzi, can we challenge for the title? It annoys me why people only expect top 4. We aren't Arsenal, for crying out loud. Yep, I agree. FUTV, hey Nini man, what is it like to watch a live game at the Bridge? I've never watched a live game, bro. Yeah, it's just the angles. I mean, you get to see the overall game, the atmosphere, of course, and not as if it's like some crazy atmosphere like if you're at Dortmund or something like that. But I mean, maybe one day, man. Who knows? Angel CFC. I remember everyone saying Roman was selling the club and that we were in crisis. Neutral fans know nothing about Chelsea but still talk shit. Yes, you're right. They do talk shit because they don't watch us, which is the case. Yeah, you guys, I'm going to end in the next 5 minutes. Next 5 minutes. If Sanchez is on something like 500k, why is Hazard not being offered the same? You can't say that yet. I mean, the thing is, it's not about Hazard's not being offered the money. It's the fact that Hazard isn't entertaining contract talks just yet. I mean, that's the reality. Kwame Goring, Nini, thoughts on Kovacic eclipsing Barkley's career in 30 minutes? I mean, yeah, yeah, he's just a better player. That's the reality. He's an upgrade. Lorenzo Lopez, Nini, my inspiration to never get... Oh my God. Why is this chat getting sexual now? Nini, my thoughts... You know what? Maybe I'm going to say it. Nini, my inspiration to never give up on anal, even if I have to eat the toys. Real talk, bro. Keep that dream burning, man. One day you'll get there. You'll do it. Austin Jerome, Nini, do you think Louise will be dropped for Christensen and Purdue as the season goes on, considering Sarri has to play with a set first 11? No, I think Louise is the first choice defender. So I don't see him getting dropped at all for any of those guys. I mean, Sarri himself has come out saying how good Luis has been playing. I mean, he said it himself. So, I mean, I don't know why people are worrying about Luis. I've already spoken about it during this live stream, so I can't really say it anymore. Femi, Nini, top 5 worst Chelsea players in your lifetime. I'd probably say maybe Bakayoko was there. I'd say Torres. I'd say Shevchenko. I'd say Bularuz was one. And I'd say... who was another dead one? I'd probably say someone like Sidwell. I don't remember him doing anything for us, really. Yeah, I'd say Sidwell. Jesse Clovis, I think this season we're going to finish third once we keep players fit and consistent. Yep, I agree, man. Yeah, what other questions? You guys, I think I might wrap it up right now, actually. No more questions. Okay. Einar, are you going to interview more players soon? I love the Chalobah video. You know what? Hopefully in the future, I do get an opportunity to interview more players. Hopefully, and maybe if it comes during an international break. I mean, I haven't asked. I'm going to ask in the future. But yeah, I mean, that's something I would love to do. I do want to improve in that regards. I don't think I gave the best interview against Chalobah. I think maybe the occasion made me a bit nervous. So I wasn't fully relaxed or comfortable. I kept worrying about what if I'm not recording or if this or this happens. So yeah. Yeah, one day, man. Hopefully I can soon. It would be great to interview a Chelsea player or another player related to Chelsea. That would be great. But yeah, you guys, I think I've got no more super chats. Nope, just making sure. Nope. You guys, I'm going to end the live stream right now. Thank you for everyone that joins me and watches these things. Obviously it makes it worthwhile. A lot of good questions as always. Thank you to everyone that sent super chats. Thank you to everyone that signed up to Patreon as well. You guys I'm going to try and have the group chat ready by Friday. So get ready for that. And yeah, you guys, so thank you for the overall support and everything like that. It means a lot. I'm going to bounce now. Thank you for watching. I'm Nini FC. This is Blue Line TV. Signing out.